Let's do it.
My nails aren't done.
Thanks for watching.
What's a thing that's completely unforgivable for another tattooer to do? Like altering photos, stealing designs.
I mean, they can do much worse than that.
I see a lot of people like touch stuff.
I think like some tattoo artists are really dirty, you know?
Reusing a needle, tattooing somewhere in the basement, home.
Kitchen magician, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know, just being dirty, like just being dirty with your gloves.
Something that you shouldn't do while getting tattooed. Obviously, not wearing gloves is a terrible idea.
Yeah, always wear gloves. I mean, that should be common sense.
Oh, I mean, that's obvious.
They just put the gloves and while like doing tattooing, they touch just like everything.
Like they be tattooing and then randomly like grab their drink and take a big swig of it.
You see guys who just touch everything, and they touch their phone, they touch the bottles, and
Like, if you're watching this, stop it right now.
Touching your iPad with your dirty gloves.
I had a couple of guys at the shop that I used to work at. Always, they would just check their phone, put it down, get back to tattooing, and I'm just like, it's okay.
People kind of breeze through the bloodborne pathogens test these days. They don't actually like read the information.
We go through the tests to get approved to go to a guest spot or go to a convention, and yeah, hurry up, just run through the bloodborne pathogens and do what you gotta do and show them the certificate. But to actually practice it is another thing.
And like I've even seen like some of the best tattooers in the world, you know, make little mistakes when it comes to like cross-contamination and stuff.
You do see like some crazy shit. I've seen conventions where dudes are like wiping shit with their bare hands, and you see a lot of wild shit at conventions actually. It's kind of like the Wild West in there. People are just doing weird shit, but
especially now, during or post-COVID, you might want to put some gloves on. Even though people are on either side of the fence with this, being that we breathe on each other and we are creating wounds in the skin, maybe masking up is not a bad idea, you know, during a surgical process.
There are some f***ers out there.
there are some f***ers out there.
There's some f***ers watching this thinking they're hot shit, looking at us like, oh, those guys don't even deserve to be on this video. I'm like, yeah, well, you fucking literally don't change your gloves after touching your phone, so I don't want to fucking talk to you, bud. Like,
Taking advantage of your position as a tattoo artist and going beyond limits of consent with your client, I feel like is another huge tattoo sin that sadly happens.
Like taking advantage of their clients, just doing slimy shit like that, you know?
always take care of your clients. Make sure they're happy and send them out the door with a smile on their face, you know?
there is a power dynamic that you have when you're altering someone's body permanently, and if you're gonna use that to force any of your own will at all, I don't fucking respect you.
I guess things that a tattoo artist shouldn't do. I don't think that they should stonewall the client with an idea that they want and that they refuse to change.
It is a customer service industry still, so you should take care of your customer or your client or whatever you want to refer to them as.
And I think the big thing that tattoo artists make a mistake with is actually not showing, and I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me on this, not showing the client the design before the tattoo, because I notice a lot of tattoo artists don't do that.
You know, I hear a lot of stories from clients where they went into a shop, they were really excited to get tattooed, this and that, and maybe they got there and the dude or the chick had a design they didn't like, and they just treated them like shit, you know? They're like, basically, you're getting this, or you can get the fuck out, so.
My biggest thing with that is if you're tattooing something that you don't know a lot about, that your client wants, like kanji or some sort of religious symbolism that they know more about than you do, and if you come back to them with a design day of the appointment and you don't have time to change that if there's something critically wrong with it, I don't think that's a good thing. Like, always show your client the design in case they know more about the design than you do.
I don't know, man. This doesn't sit right with me. We're still providing a service. If you're good at what you do, you should be able to come up with a design that appeases your needs and your client's needs.
Even if you're trying to like talk them into a tattoo they don't want, even something as simple as that, but there are people who are out there trying to talk people into sleeping with them or trapping people into paying more money than they should. Yeah, it's like,
That's a shit someone gets canceled over.
Yeah, I don't associate with that.
I think not putting their client's tattoo at the top priority. Sometimes you have to kind of be the bad guy, and I know everybody wants to be cool and just let your client kind of do whatever, but I think it's your responsibility to let them know if they're not sitting still or if you need them to move. Most of the time, every time that I've encountered it, people are more than willing to adjust to get the best tattoo. So I think speaking up, ultimately it's your responsibility to give them your best.
In my opinion, it's definitely all about like making the customer feel most comfortable. So like if you're being an asshole or like not treating the customer with as much respect as like you would want if you were tattooing, I feel like that's a pretty big no-no in my opinion, because you like want to make people as comfortable as possible. You're already hurting them so much that you don't want to add to that experience for sure.
Not that I'm aware of anyone that like I follow at least that like alters their photos like that, but I've heard of a lot of artists that do, and that's, I mean, it's just kind of messed up because you don't really get to see necessarily like what they're doing. Like it's not like their work like when it's fresh, you know? So you're not really seeing exactly what the tattoo is, able to look like. It's just altered. So it gives like a false reality of what it could be and how their work actually is, because they could look really good, but they could really not be that good of an artist, like line work wise or shading wise. They could blend it out even. Yeah, I guess I never really thought of it because I don't, like I said, I don't really follow anybody that I'm aware of that does that, but yeah.
Oh, you follow people who do it.
Yeah?
Technical stuff, I personally am a big fan of getting one area of the tattoo done and then never touching it again. I try not to go over the same area over and over again and cause excess trauma when there doesn't need to be. And I notice a lot of artists do like bloodlines and they do all these things to try to keep the stencil in place and whatnot, but it just causes unnecessary trauma to the skin. And tattoos hurt, but they don't need to hurt so bad to the point where it's just unnecessary pain, and it takes longer in the long run.
I hate the current trend of like TikTok editing tattoo videos. It's like, I just want to see a picture of the tattoo. I don't want to see like an edited video with cut scenes and transitions and dialogue. It's over the top. Like I feel like I need to have an editing degree in film to be a tattooer these days.
Do you have an editing degree?
I have no clue. No, I can't even take good pictures of my tattoos, let alone take good videos of them. Of me like putting a stencil on and then wiping it down and then the big reveal. It's too much.
I honestly feel like that's kind of hard for me to say because there are things that I know I wouldn't do and I would never do, but it's hard to like put hard lines on anything anymore. I see absurd things like drones making tattoos and like children's drawings, like chicken scratch, and I don't know, like I would never do that, but I would also say if there's a clientele for it, I'm just happy I'm not the person tattooing it.
One other thing that I dislike is whenever I go get spot at a different shop, some tattoo artists at that shop would try to act like a rock star. You know what I mean?
I would say get too much up in their heads. Like get all about the ego and tell themselves that like it's all me and I'm the coolest everything ever. Because it's not real. Like it's not how it is. Like everybody comes from a different place and everybody comes from a different level, and we all have our own like things to get through. So let's just all help each other and like try to make each other grow and make this experience for everybody,
I don't know. I would say probably don't really get too caught up in what anyone thinks or what anyone's like says or anything. Just do whatever makes you happy, Like just don't focus on what the rest of the industry is doing. Just focus on what you want to do in your own progression and your own happiness within it. And you're gonna get so much more further than if you cared what everybody else ever says to you and everyone else's opinion, because not everyone can see your long-term plan. So stick to that. Don't worry about anybody else's bullshit. Do what makes you happy.
Would you guys mind just quiet down a little bit? Thank you.
You're such a brat.
I'm a brat? How am I a brat?
You're like...
This is my job. Is that what I did? You want to do it again?
yo, my client right now is probably like,